At it again, and I've got to bring this conversation to you guys because these two gentlemen had a fantastic conversation, and I actually agreed with a lot that they had to say. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk are the two individuals that we are going to be checking out today. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
What has it been like? You've owned X for a year now.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Joe Rogan's wearing that because of Halloween, of course. For those that are like, wait, what? Why is he wearing a wig? It's because of Halloween.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and have a dream that you didn't do it? And your life is infinitely easier?
Listen to what he says.
Well, it's certainly a recipe for trouble, I suppose, or contention.
What was it ultimately that led you to make the decision to do it?
I mean, this is going to sound somewhat melodramatic, but I was worried about that it was having a corrosive effect on civilization.
It was.
That it was just having a bad impact. I think part of it is that it's where it was located, which is downtown San Francisco. And while I think San Francisco is a beautiful city, and we should really fight hard to kind of right the ship of San Francisco. If you've walked around downtown San Francisco, right near the FK Twitter headquarters, it's a zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's rough. Have you been in that area?
Not lately. No.
Yeah.
I've heard.
It's crazy.
I've heard it's crazy. I've heard you really can't believe it until you actually go there.
You can't believe it until you go there. So now you have to say, well, what philosophy led to that outcome? And that philosophy was being piped to Earth. So, a philosophy that would be ordinarily quite niche and geographically constrained, so that the fallout area would be limited, was effectively given an information weapon, information technology weapon to propagate what is essentially a mind virus to the rest of Earth. And the outcome of that mind virus is very clear if you walk around the streets of downtown San Francisco. It is the end of civilization.
And it's not just propagating the mind virus, but suppressing any opposing viewpoints.
Yes. Well, in order for the virus to propagate, it must suppress opposing viewpoints. So,
because it doesn't stand up to scrutiny.
Correct.
Facts. And that's one of the things that I've discovered along this journey, right? Is that Democrats and their policies, they don't stand up to scrutiny. That's why, I always, said the phrase, whenever the facts come out, they run. Because that was the recurring thing that I was seeing when I would watch these Democrats try to debate Republicans. They would yell, they would scream, they would call all types of names when the Republican would state some facts, and then they would storm off. Oh, F you, you Trump-loving blah, 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 blah. Ism this, ism that, phobe this, phobe that, and storm off, right? It's because they don't stand up to scrutiny. They know that. That's why they always storm off. But kudos to Elon Musk, man. And I get it. Some people are saying, some people still don't like Elon Musk. But I think you guys have to understand what Elon Musk, I feel, in my personal opinion, is up against, right? I think there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you and I never get to see, never really get to hear about, that he faces, you know what I'm saying? And it's like this balancing act, right? You heard him there. Like, he wants to do the right thing. I feel like he bought it for the right reasons. He wanted to save humanity from this, he calls it a mind virus. And hey, I might agree, right? But I don't think that he can really do exactly what he wants to do because of some things happening behind the scenes. Do I know that with 100% certainty? No, this is just me guessing, right? You guys can let me know if you agree, disagree, why or why not. But I do think that he's getting some pushback behind the scenes that we don't get to see. So he's trying to have this balancing act with things where it's like, I keep Twitter running, but I also kind of push, freedom of speech and honoring that and allowing this free exchange of information. But I'm not, pissing these people off over here too much, you know, that are behind the scenes, that are, you know. Y'all let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Talk to me.
Yeah.
You've felt the virus. You know? Yeah. People will try to cancel you so many times.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't think you're melodramatic at all. I think it's a. I mean, I don't want to be melodramatic, but it's almost like a death cult.
It's a death cult. No, that is exactly right. It's essentially the extinctionists.
Yes.
Like, it's in the limit. It is that they're propagating the extinction of humanity and civilization. And there's some people who are like most of the time it's implicit. They don't but sometimes it's explicit. Like, there was a guy on the front page of the New York Times who literally has the thing called the Extinctionist Movement, and he was quoted on the front page of the New York Times as saying, "There are 8 billion people in the world, but it would be better if there were none." And I'm like, well, buddy, you can start with yourself.
Yeah. Does he have friends? That's what always fascinates.
I'm just saying, right? And this is why I had to show you guys this. This is an amazing conversation. I highly encourage you guys to go watch it for yourselves. But, you know, listen, these folks, for example, the people who always shout and scream and like block traffic and throw paint all over everything for the environment. Why don't you go clean up the environment? How about that? Throwing paint on the side of a building or spilling fake blood inside of a Chick-fil-A or something isn't exactly helping the environment. And last time I checked, nobody's like, oh yeah, I see these guys pouring fake blood in Chick-fil-A. I'm going to hop on this cause. I'm going to join you guys. Never seen anybody do it. But you know what I have seen people jump on board with? When they show images of the pile of garbage that we have in the ocean, because we have like several garbage piles in our ocean. I believe that actually know like several of the locations of those and like track them or whatever. Like, why don't you go to those locations, clean it up, or at least attempt to clean it up, right? Show the videos. I feel like that would be more effective to getting people on board with your cause than like disrupting people's lives and yelling and screaming and doing all of this other stuff. You know, like, it's just like, talk about a mind virus. My goodness. Sometimes I just feel like these people just don't even think, right? I don't know. Like, it's just, y'all let me know in the comment section. Talk to me.
Well, here he is.
That guy.
He looks like he's not long for this earth.
I mean, he's not
Voluntary
young.
Human Extinction Movement. That's hilarious. I'd like to party with that dude. I would just like to like.
That's an explicit version of the death cult.
Yeah, maybe live
extinctionist
long
cult.
and die out.
It's not. Extinction is a word he uses.
Yes.
No, I mean, it's not. It's literally a self-description.
Do they cover
that
him
death cult
glowingly?
was in charge of social media.
Yeah.
And still largely is at Google and Facebook, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not in favor of human extinction. They are, and they can go to hell.
Well, that guy is.
Yeah, he can go to hell.
That guy seems silly. I
well,
would like
it's-
to hang
it's-
out with him, though. I would like to find out what makes him tick. I bet that guy is fascinating.
Well,
If you get him alone for a few days,
I mean,
and
I'm
dig
in favor of. I mean, I'm pro-environment, but the in the limit, if you take environmentalism to an extreme, you start to view humanity as a plague on the surface of the earth, like a mold or something.
right.
But this is actually false. The Earth could take probably 10 times the current civilization. The population you could 10x the population without destroying the rainforest. So the environmental movement, and I'm an environmentalist, has gone too far. They've gone way too far. If you start thinking that humans are bad, then the natural conclusion is humans should die out. Now, I'm headed to an international sort of AI safety conference later tonight, leaving in about 3 hours. I'm going to meet with the British Prime Minister, a number of other people. So you have to say, like, how could AI go wrong? Well, if AI gets programmed by the extinctionists, its utility function will be the extinction of humanity. So
all
I mean,
sorts of
there are
areas.
times when masks are warranted, but most of the time it's actually counterproductive.
Well, that was one of the things about the old Twitter was the propaganda and
Yeah.
the adherence to whatever the CDC was saying and the dismissing of legitimate scientists, guys like Jay Bhattacharya from
Yeah.
Stanford and legit guys.
Yes.
And they were suppressing them and even banning them. They banned Alex Berenson. I mean, it was wild. They banned Alex for essentially reading peer-reviewed papers.
Yeah. No, I mean, all Twitter was basically an arm of the government.
Yeah.
So
Was that shocking? Like, what was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre, was the Twitter files. When you let Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi and all those guys get in the Twitter, and the response where Matt Taibbi gets audited. I mean, which is just wild. I mean, it's just so blatant and so in your face.
yeah, it's weird. No, I mean, the degree to which, and by the way, Jack didn't really know this, but the degree to which Twitter was simply an arm of the government was not well understood by the public, and it was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda basically. It's a state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It's a state publication.
And was the justification from their perspective that they are progressive liberals, they have the right intentions, it's important that they stay in power, the progressive liberals stay in government and power because this is their...
There was basically oppression of any views that would even, I would say, be considered middle of the road. But certainly anything on the right. I'm not talking about like far right. I'm just talking mildly right. The people like Republicans were suppressed at 10 times the rate of Democrats. Now that's because old Twitter was fundamentally controlled by the far left. It was like completely controlled by the far left, and that's why I say like like San Francisco, Berkeley is a niche ideology. It's hard to say like, is there a place that's more far left than San Francisco, Berkeley?
Maybe Portland.
Maybe Portland, but it's like it's a
right there.
It's like it's those two places are the most far left places in America.
Yes.
So from their standpoint, everything is to the right, including moderates.
Right.
So now, if you internalize a far left position, everything seems wrong to you that is not far left.
Right.
And so they naturally oppressed anything that didn't agree with their views. That's why I say that it was an accidental far left information weapon. So, because it's like Silicon Valley attracts the smartest engineers, the smartest sort of technologists and programmers from around the world. They created an information weapon that was then harnessed by the far left, who could not themselves create the weapon, but happened to be co-located where the technologists were.
And happened to be aligned politically with the people that possessed it.
The technologists generally are moderate, maybe moderate left, but they're not far left. That's why I say San Francisco, Berkeley. It doesn't even extend to South San Francisco or even to Palo Alto. So SF Berkeley is the most far left, perhaps in a competition with Portland, but I'd say SF Berkeley is more far left even than Portland. Like literally in America, we're talking about an area that's maybe a 10-mile radius. And so normally the effects, the negative effects of a far left ideology that would be geographically limited to a 10-mile radius. That's like not, it's small, like so any bad effects of that ideology would be geographically constrained under normal circumstances and have been in the past. But when you have basically a technological megaphone, which was Twitter and social media in general, suddenly the far left are handed a megaphone to Earth, an incredibly powerful technology weapon that they themselves could not create, but they happened to be co-located with the technologists who created it by accident.
So yeah, we'll end that there. But it is a fantastic conversation throughout the entire conversation. I mean, the entire thing, top to bottom, is absolutely incredible. I highly encourage you guys to go check out the entire thing for yourselves. But, you know, Elon Musk is 100% correct. I think we are dealing with some people who legitimately want humanity exterminated for the most part. A large portion exterminated, right? And if they're the ones who are allowed to program, you know, any incoming AI, right, or robots, oh my goodness, we're in for a world of trouble, an absolute world of trouble. Because if they're programmed to do so, yeah, it's gonna be real bad. Real bad. So, you know, shout out to Elon Musk, man. I'm happy with what he's doing with Twitter. I understand it's not perfect, but like I said, I do think he's fighting against some things behind the scenes that we don't get to see and we aren't privy to. So, yeah, I think he's got a little balancing act that he has to adhere to behind the scenes. But that's just my humble opinion on it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comment section below. But it is interesting to see and hear that from him, right? How Twitter was literally just an arm of the government, right? It was just a megaphone for them to get their terrible policies out there, which is no longer the case. And also why you saw Democrats fighting so hard when Elon was in the process of buying it and ultimately did buy it. That's why you saw them losing their absolute minds. That's in my humble opinion, that's why you see something like Threads with Instagram that was created, which honestly is terrible in my humble opinion, and it just tried to copy Twitter. But that's why you see this stuff happening, because they lost, in my humble opinion, one of their avenues to get their messaging out. Oh, so now we got to destroy that one because we can't let any, you know, it's not even a Republican, but just like, we can't have any social media sites out there that we don't 100% control. You know, I feel like is what they were what they were saying behind the scenes. You know, this stuff is absolutely crazy. But yeah, you let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. Check out the entire conversation. I'll try to leave the link to this video in the description box below. Peace and love, family. I'm out.